To have this opportunity today to address a problem that comes up in almost every street when I'm out door knocking in Stevenage and our villages. The problem being ever more potholes and the general disrepair of our roads. When I made a point to someone recently about the importance of tackling potholes, they dismissed it as a trivial matter. I happen to think it's actually very serious. It's very serious when a parent of a low-income family, just about getting by, tells me that the pothole they reported at a Conservative county council time and time again hadn't been fixed and eventually ended up costing hundreds of pounds of damage to her vehicle. Paying for that simply isn't an option, so the family has to take significant time out of their week to make a claim. Or the young teacher on her bike, which hit a pothole causing her to tumble over, had sustained serious injuries and missed school for several weeks. The worst thing is, this should all be preventable. Statistics from the online retailer blackcircles.com show that Hertfordshire had the highest average payout of pothole-related claims in the UK, with an average of £367 per claim in 2023. This amount is significantly higher than the national average of £261 per claim. And I can tell you why this is. Our Conservative-run county council in Hertfordshire has totally failed on road repairs, leaving our roads in Stevenage and the villages of Nebworth, Codicott, Datchworth and Aston in a state of total disrepair. And I think the first reason that they have failed is bottom-up. Conservative councillors generally aren't proactive in our community, so council officers and the high-risk team aren't getting the quality of reporting on where issues are and what the priorities should be from the ground up. The second issue is top-down. 14 years of funding cuts from successive Conservative governments to local councils in an era of austerity, cheer-led by Conservative county councillors in Hertfordshire, while their budgets declined and outcomes got worse. Stevenage Conservatives recently claimed that Hertfordshire was the best-run county council in the country. I gently suggest that when 14 years of austerity devastate a council's budget and local Conservatives are in charge of allocating what's left, you end up with a council ranked by the Times newspaper last year as the 172nd best performing in the country, with very little left for road repairs. And now, believe it or not, there's a third issue, and this is the existential one. The Conservative cabinet member for highways at Hertfordshire County Council, also a Stevenage councillor, doesn't even understand what a pothole even is. In 2023, he proudly claimed that outstanding road repairs in Hertfordshire were lower than the national average, with only 4% of B and C roads requiring outstanding repairs compared to 6% nationally. That all sounds fairly positive, until you realise that we are not comparing like for like. Hertfordshire classifies a pothole as being at least 300 millimetres wide and 50 millimetres deep. When just next door in Essex, they only have to be 100 millimetres across, or further away in Trafford, just 40 millimetres deep. So you think you just hit a pothole in Hertfordshire? Well, it must be your imagination, says the council. All the while, they'd rather change the definition of a pothole or wait for people to claim for damages, costing the council more than it would to fix them for the future in the first place. Thankfully, we are turning a corner. This new Labour government is on the side of road users in their cars, on the buses and on their bicycles. And it takes the issue of fixing potholes as seriously as residents expect them to. And that's why our counties received £9.3 million for road repairs to fix as many potholes as possible. A market change from 14 years of Tory austerity. But while this extra funding is welcome, the public deserves to know how their councils will use that funding to improve their local roads, which I'm pleased the government is requiring them to show progress or risk losing 25% of the funding boost. So now the question on all my residents' lips: can we really trust a failing Conservative-run Hertfordshire County Council and the unseen, unbothered Conservative county councillors to use this money properly? We now have a new Labour government facilitating change through these measures, but we also need effective councillors to deliver that change in every street, community, town and village across Hertfordshire and the wider country. Where councillors like those in Tory-run Hertfordshire fail to deliver that change, our residents can and should choose new ones who can.